Greetings to you all, and I welcome you to this broadcast. One that I would wish I would never had the opportunity to do, but one that I find to be extremely necessary this time. At the beginning, right here, right now, I remind you that I have nothing to do with the PNC, AFC, APNU, PPP, or any other political party in this country. And you're beginning to see why I said the things I would have said and why I am the way that I am. There is great cause at this time for me to speak to those who are involved or have some interest in what I call the political affairs in our country. Guyana has slid to a path and a place that is most unacceptable if your mind is on good governance. If your interest is in good governance, then you should be concerned about that which has presented itself to us as a people at this time. Before I proceed, would you please indicate whether you can hear me clearly and you can also see clearly. I'm using eNetworks mobile data, so I don't know what's going to happen because eNetworks Wi-Fi is just ridiculous here in Linden. So I don't know what to do. So I'm just trying to see which would work better. Okay, thank you for the feedback. I saw a few days ago, as many other Guyanese would have seen, a statement by one Eglon Gomes. Let me see if I can switch this out to the same poor connection. I don't know why I keep saying that. Anyway, I'll leave it. And when I read that, well, it was not a statement. It was a very dangerous, before anything else came out, accusation against Aubrey Norton. As you are aware, I have an issue with Norton's leadership. I don't know Norton personally. I've always said that I do not care to know Norton personally. Therefore, whatever Norton does on a personal basis, I don't have a personal relationship with Norton. I have an interest in Norton's behavior as the official leader of the opposition because he's paid by me and other taxpayers. Now, as long as you're paid, which includes every other PPP agent in all here, once you're paid by us, the people, then you have to, not you should, you have to answer to us. We pay you, you don't pay us. And it is in light of that fact that I pay attention to what the PPP does, to what APNU AFC does, to what anyone who governs our society does, because I have an interest in my country being governed in a healthy, proper manner across the board. I don't care whether you're PNC, I don't care if you're APNU, I don't care whether you're AFC, I don't care what you are. You have to govern this country properly. Now, the PNC, the People's National Congress, is about to have their Congress, at which the leader of the party would be elected. That individual would more than likely be the presidential candidate for the next general election, regional general elections. Now, I'm sharing this with y'all because I may more than likely become extremely upset in my expressions, so just bear with me, because I've had it to my neck with this sick, weak, and classless society in which we found ourselves. There are people who are so eager to lead for the economic benefit that they don't care at what cost that leadership is arrived at. There are individuals who are so eager to lead that they do not care at what cost that leadership is arrived at. They don't care. They don't care about, thank you so much, Tracy. They don't mind who is destroyed along the way. They don't mind what happens. As long as whatever is done is going to be used for the ability or the means of leading, of gaining power, then we can destroy whoever we want to destroy so we can gain power. We are cursed with a society of silent leaders who are called religious. They are silent. They have been mummified, if you ask me. They have been dumb. They can't talk. And it doesn't matter what happens to society and how it disintegrates. They just don't want to say anything. If Eglon Gomes popped up because he knows that at this time, just a week or so before there's election of leadership, at this time you throw this out there, Norton had to respond. Because Norton's greatest desire is to lead. So if you really want power, and you really want to rule the PNC and then have a chance to rule or lead Guyana, then you have to jump at these things, since they can have major impacts on your ability to lead. When your society is plagued by people who want power and not propriety and decency, you have a cursed nation on your hand. Guyana is a cursed nation because our leaders desire power more than they do principles that are just and honest. Norton responded. When I read Eglon Gomes, it came to me, somebody sent it, I saw it. Norton said, it's not true, I'm going to sue him. I said, this is interesting. Because I know that as long as you take time to respond to these things, you give life to it, and it goes to a place you don't really want it to go. Norton went on video. Video showed his face and denied. And he was not just satisfied with denying it. He was bold enough to say he expects Vanessa to speak. Because if Vanessa does not speak and Sharma doesn't speak, then they are rendered just as guilty, or to be one who they in cahoots with Eglon. They are now guilty in his eyes of parting with this person to stay in his character. Now, based on our nation's experience, and based on a normal person's experience, you can have a female who would have been sexually abused or harassed in some way, and she just say, okay, did this happen? I'm done with this. I'm moving on with my life. And she can just move on. But if one who is accused of doing this, or in her eyes they would have done it, or whatever it is, if that person comes out to challenge to say, you know what, this is what you did, and I dare you to come and speak now, and if you don't say anything, then you're just as guilty. You would ignite in that person a desire, if the courage could be had, to say, no, you're taking this too far now. Because if you did it, and I let it go for so long, don't you dare come up here challenging me to talk as if I'm now one who's guilty. You're not going to do this. And so by right, Vanessa spoke. My concern is, what gave Eglon Gomes the right to bring this woman's matter to an international table? Did you consult with this individual to say, I'm about to make this, to release this. Is this okay? If people reach out to me to say something has happened to them, I would ask them, are you okay with this being made public? If they say to me, no, it's over. I don't say, well, you have to make it public. Let's go and talk, man. At all costs. No, no, no. I ask you the question, do you want this to be made public? If the person says no, it is not made public. That's the first issue I have with you. For you to choose to just throw this out there. To what end? My other question is, for how long did you, Gomes, have this information? Huh? No, don't worry about Vanessa part. How long were you privy to this? And why would you hold it so close? Because I know the others who do the same thing. They hear a rumor about somebody or about me, and they would hold it to their chest and say, oh, we'll wait. We wait patiently. Or if London only decides that he's going to enter the general elections, then we throw it out there. I know you all well, and I told people this. I know the culture of Ghana's political circle. And you know this is the most dangerous part of this? It is in the PNC and the PPP. They would both, if they see you as a potential threat to their seats, they will wait for the last minute and then throw all kinds of things out there, and they know that shallow thinkers will say, oh, well, okay, then we got him now. He. You hear what he said? And it has to be true because mentally lazy people normally support weak politicians. Norton, you're not my friend. Neither are you my enemy. But the worst thing you can ever do is to call a woman out. If you, according to her, did whatever you did, according to her, the worst thing that you can ever do is to call out the person and say, I dare you. That's why I told Dharam Lal. I don't have two tongues, I talk with one tongue. That's why I told Dharam Lal, come out and say never did that, what you did to the girl. You tell that girl, but in the midst of the heat with Frederick's girl, I said, Dharam Lal, come. I challenge him until today. You come and tell this girl that you dare her to say anything. You see it happen. You don't do that. Now, after he called Vanessa to speak, she did. She did. And this Congress of the People's National Congress has taken on another life. Here is where my brief redress comes in. I don't care about y'all. You are weak. You've allowed the people in this country to suffer for so long, and your leadership decide who wouldn't move, and you wait until other people go to protest and you join up in the protest if it's yours. You all have never, as far as I'm aware, led any mass protest over the past 4 years as a party. So you're disqualified from leading me. I tell you that. You cannot, there's no way that you can lead me if you allow the PPP to do what they did to people for 4 years and you couldn't do anything about it. You cannot lead me. But I still have to have an interest in how you lead the country because you're part of the governance of the country. So the People's Progressive Party had their Congress when Irfan Ali, at one of the, of course, they had Michael Jackson and Sodomite come dressing him and all kind of stuff and holding up cuts like you some man. And they had a fun time. And they, at that forum, they were supposed to elect their leader as well. At the People's Progressive Party's Congress, nobody campaigned publicly for anything. The People's Progressive Party, at their Congress, they have a pecking order already established. You don't challenge Barrett. You don't challenge this one. And even though this boy, across the board, people felt he was guilty of doing what he did, you don't touch who Barrett likes. And they went there, they had their say, they danced and ate and went to where the parliament meets to insult all of us. They went to Arthurton Convention Center, painted all the streets, in many streets and so on along the way. They had policemen escorting their people to Congress, which is not a government any state or government occasion, that's a party occasion, and our policemen were used with our money to escort them. And with all of that happening, the PPP did not have any public spat. Mind you, they were going to elect their committee. Dharam Lal, of all people, was elected number 6. Look at what he was facing. And they didn't, anybody from the PPP, no one came out and said, okay then, look here, we can't vote for this one here. We can't vote for this accused rapist. We can't vote for this one. No. They didn't do that. They did not do that. They went into their Congress, they voted, and then they published their results. The PNC, the People's National Congress, the 3 of you who are desperate to lead. You want the power. You want to be in charge, because it is likely that even the US will have their hands involved in a regime change in Guyana, because the US can control who they want to lead this country. Just like that, Gomes pops up, and Gomes decides that this is time to attack and to say whatever is said about a woman, about people's mother. And the PNC, unlike the PPP, your process of electing your leader must involve destroying those who wouldn't lead. Let me say it to you again. The PNC's method of arriving at who would lead the party is you're destroying those who are leaders of the party. So you have to chop off the head, which is Norton. Destroy him. Get him out the way. And then there'll be 2 players left. And heaven knows what will come out after this. Because of the thirst for power. That's what you want. What is even worse is when our society can plummet to a place where the desire for Norton to lead becomes more important than the truth about who Norton is or would have been to a woman. When you see your political party, and that same thing course PPP has on them as well, when you see your political party has a greater interest in who leads rather than how the person is as an individual or who they are, you are in serious trouble. Because character doesn't matter to you all anymore. What matters to you? The PPP didn't care about Dharmlal's issues and actions. They didn't care about the fact that when this girl came out and said what she said and requested that the police would act, and she did forensic interviews, and then they went to the DPP and all that. They didn't care about all of that. They didn't care about how it played out. All they care about is that Dharmlal is here and we'll vote for him. They didn't care about Jaglio and Sue Gates story on Vice News. Their concern was Jaglio is we leader, Jaglio is we boy, is we massa. So you'll vote for him. They didn't care about 19 fraud charges, Ali. Why? Because the focal point of this society is about who would be in charge of the money. The wealth that we have available to us right now is so sweet. on the lips of those who can taste it. It's right here for them. They know that if they only get into office, they have control of trillions of dollars. That's this whole thing. How do we, at all cost, that's how they process, how can they get to that seat of power to control all of this money? They don't care who is destroyed along the way. We just have to get to this money at all costs. Destroy, we have to destroy, we don't care. Break it all down, we have to get to that money. We have to be in charge. We have to have power to control it. You are a set, a group, a bunch of disgraceful people. I would not sleep well in the context of what we say. You don't disturb my sleep. I'm just saying how Guyanese talk. I would not sleep well if Aubrey Norton doesn't come out with another statement now to say that you, Aubrey, are going to sue Vanessa. Because if you don't say that, then what Vanessa said is true. You were quick to say that you're going to sue Eglon Gomes because what he said is untrue, and you've advised your legal team to take action. You better advise the legal team to take action here now. This will not go down well. This will not go down well if you fold your hands and do not sue Vanessa. Because it's one thing for Eglon Gomes to say what he said. It's another thing for Vanessa to come and say that what he said is so. She just has an issue with the fact that he chose to say it, not her. So you'd better, Aubrey Norton, sue Vanessa. Because if you don't address what Vanessa said, you should not be within 500 feet of anything called a political party. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I do not wish to be a part of a society in which what someone did 20 years ago is not an issue until they become a candidate for leadership of some sort. You all need to stop this. Don't take on the US's dirty political nature, where George Bush smoked weed, or Obama smoked weed at 17 years old. And at 49 or 50 years old, he shouldn't lead the country because he smoked weed at 7. You all need to stop this foolishness. Now, when you are in a seat of authority, there is a requirement that you must conduct yourself in a particular manner if you want to lead people. That's a given. But you should not go to say that when somebody was 13 or 20 years old, or 15 years or 20 years ago, he kissed me in a bathroom, therefore he must need me 50 years later. That nonsense has to stop. No one is static. People can be different. People can change. People can take accountability for what they've done and say, listen, I've been wrong to you, I'm sorry, let's move on from this. All of that can happen. What bothers me is when your favorite does something, you're willing to forgive and move on. But when someone you dislike does something, you're ready to kill them. That kind of attitude is unhealthy for our society. We don't need this in our country. As a people, we are not going to allow our children to inherit this filth. If you are seeking to lead a political party called the PNC, which is at this time the official opposition. That's why I'm speaking to you all, because you all have something to do with my money, with my life, with my children's life. If you are seeking to lead this country, it will involve leading me at some point as a citizen. I'm not playing with you all, because at the end of the day, you have to represent this nation well. That's why I speak the way I do. You are paid to represent people. You're not, this is not a church service you'll have a freebie. You are paid to represent people. To what extent will you go to represent people? What price must our women pay in this whole process of trying to gain power? As a people, as a society, there has to be limits to which anyone is willing to go to attain leadership. There has to be limits. There has to be boundaries. I would like to expect that Aubrey Norton, if you are innocent, I would expect that you would initiate as swiftly as possible action, because you don't play with the reputation. You don't play with the character. If you are innocent, you have to initiate action. If you are guilty, move now. If you are innocent, you have to initiate action. If you are guilty, remove now. Because at the end of the day, and even deeper than all that you people are floating out here saying, let me just bring this to you all. As a reality of African descendants, you are African descendants. In a decade where the United Nations would have devoted 10 years to trying to help us to heal ourselves from the wounds of slavery, the wounds of discrimination, the wounds of economic oppression and suppression, in this focal time of the African descendants. Three of you are seeking to lead mainly African descendants. Is this the best that you can present to us? Huh? Is this the best that you can present to us? More important than your Congress is your character. More important than your Congress is your character. What character are you placing on the table? Huh? What are you resting on the table of the African descendants? Because according to the BBC, according to the CIA, they know very well that the PNC is mainly supported by African descendants. The People's Progressive Party is mainly supported by East Indian people. They know that. They are aware of that. That's an irrefutable fact. What are you placing on the table? The PPP held a Congress. There was none of this at the table. Though Dharmlal was there, though Kwame was there, though so many others were there was none of this on the table. Though so many others were there was none of this on the table. Why is this on your table? What quality of people would you be? What quality of leaders would you be? Tell me. There should be a meeting of your central executive, because if you're going to seek to lead a nation of people, this is not the way to do it. Your central executive need to get together, and you'll need to demand that if Aubrey is going to even take the risk of leading, he had better have action taken against anyone who does this thing, or he had better drop it. I would like to further state before I depart, or reiterate, that if a grown woman who is the mother of children speaks to you, any one of you, and says to you, listen, this has happened to me, and she has not made a request for that matter to be brought forward, leave it. Unless it is something that she and her children are threatened about, she's afraid that the perpetrator will do some harm to them, then you step in legally in the best way you can, navigate so you can get them out of danger. But don't take it on yourself to go putting people's alleged reports out there for any political mileage. Once you begin to do stuff like this for political mileage, you are a destructive character. This is not the way to go. There is no way that a woman's secret is supposed to be used for political gain. There is no way that you are supposed to use somebody's alleged or reported sexual traumatizing experience for political mileage. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. It takes a person of no character, not low, of absolutely no character, for you to take somebody's trauma just to use it for political gain. That is as low as you can get. And whoever you are promoting or seeking to advance to leadership should not lead if they allow you to do that. If ever anybody, if somebody says, okay, then I want this person to lead, so I'm going to use somebody's trauma to make this one look better than the other one, that person should not lead either. This is not about somebody thieving money and somebody signing blank check or be signed blank check as some treasure accuse him of doing, and somebody's no, or asking for blank checks. No, this is people mother you talking about. This, you talking about somebody's mother, somebody's husband, somebody's father. And you're going to do this just so that you can get your boy to lead or your girl to lead? Is this how the PNC arrives at leadership? Is this how this party that wants to lead Guyana, is this how you're going to choose your leaders? Where you just destroy people's character and expose somebody's pain or take somebody's charm and throw it out there for everybody to see and say, okay then, I don't care how she feels. I don't mind if the whole world gets now to know, because she said, according to her report, she told only a few people. She confided in people. If somebody says that they confided in people, how in the world can a man decide that he would use that which was said in confidence to make it a political tool for his favorite to be on the platform of leadership? Is this what you are about? Brothers and sisters, enemies and friends, the PNC is known to be supported by mainly African descendants, overwhelmingly. Your African ancestors, your forefathers, as a matter of fact, when they wanted to be free of the Europeans' evil, wicked, destructive schemes and slavery, they didn't destroy each other, because that was happening before. Instead, they sat and they began to strategize. How can we together defeat our enemy? If they were going to destroy each other, they would all have been consumed. But they decided that to free ourselves of these destructive Europeans, these dogs and criminals, we cannot destroy each other. We are born out of the loins of those who united to destroy those who were seeking to destroy them. There is no way. Shalom, my brother. There is no way. There is no way that you should subject somebody's mother to this nonsense for political mileage. I would advise whoever Eglon Gomes is seeking to support on a platform to distance yourself from him by a statement. If you believe that Eglon Gomes will cause you to gain power, you are going to be one who will be marked as someone who accepted the destruction of another person's character and peace of mind so you can gain power. Finally, I say to you that if you could do this to your official leader, what would you not do to me? And there are those who say to me, why don't you support the PNC? Why don't you work with the PNC? Why don't you be a part of the PNC and together you all could fight the PPP? If you could do this to Norton, what would you do to me? If you could do this to one of your former members of parliament, Vanessa, what would you not do to me? Remember, I'll be a newcomer. I'll be a new boy. I'll be a new kid on the block. I'll be this apostle always talking about Jesus people. I'll be the one who you all have a problem with. If you could do this to Norton, and if you could do this to Kisun, what would you not do to me? And if those around y'all who are members of parliament could sit and watch this destruction play out, and y'all don't step in to deal with this, what would you not do to me? Further, I say, what are you not already seeking to do to me? Right here in my hometown. Wherever I see cannibalism, I see no need to render my support. If you all want to eat each other up on that side, eat each other on that side. Don't invite me to the dinner. I don't devour flesh. I recognize that the PPP has a mission to suppress, oppress, and if they're allowed to do it, destroy African descendants. For that reason, I would seek to stand with anyone who understands the cause. But you would never get me to join you all in assassinating people the way you do. I would not be a part of it. I seek justice and what is right. If Norton knows that you did not do it, you had better sue Vanessa. And if you know that you did it, you'd better seek mercy from Vanessa and her children while you leave. With that said, I have no doubt in my heart that the People's Progressive Party, because of the control of the national purse and treasury and the tentacles of corruption that they have control of, I have no doubt in my heart that the People's Progressive Party can simply give a little handout to you little black ones to kill each other or take out somebody so that they can have the pie. I have no doubt that there are those who sit even in the PNC who are prepared to receive a few $1 million that will not even afford you to have a house that looks anything like Barrett's. You would take it just so that you can be better than another black man. And you would destroy your own people. I don't put that beyond y'all. This matter has taken your Congress to what is now beyond Congress. You have now exposed the fact and the truth that integrity and your honesty do not matter any longer. Norton, as I leave you tonight, I know that you watch what I say. Norton, as I leave you tonight, I say to you what I've said on a prior broadcast. All that one has in this world is their name. You don't take money to your grave. They could put it there, but it would be of no benefit to you. You do not take gold to your grave. You don't take power to your grave. All you take with you is your name. The only thing that lives on is your name, your character. No position in this world, Aubrey Norton, should be worth more than your character. You have a pension because you served more than 6 months in your capacity as the official leader of the opposition. As you serve for more than 6 months in the official leader of the opposition's office, you will have your pension. Take it. It is not worth your character. If you see that the PNC is given to doing what they're doing just to gain power, if what you're saying is true, you don't need to be in that. There's no way that you should be, if you have any sense of character, you should be in that environment. Because how can you lead a country with people who seek to destroy you to this extent? Again, this is not about your telling some treasure to write some blank check. This is not about your weakness and not protesting. This has gone to a whole different dimension, Aubrey. You have a family. This has taken on an entire new life. And I must leave with addressing the dogs in the PPP. Not one of y'all women from the PPP camp, especially those cabinet members, y'all had better not let me see one thing typed on your page about this Aubrey Norton and Vanessa Kissoon scandal. If you couldn't talk about Dharamlal, you had better not say a word. There is not a soul from the PPP who is qualified to talk in this situation. All y'all need to put your head in a toilet bowl and flush it when it comes to this matter here. Don't even take the risk of saying that you support Vanessa and you... listen here. I'm warning y'all. I am warning you, Finger Happy Priya. I am warning all of y'all. You had better not take the risk. You only qualified. For as long as Dharamlal is number 6 on your list of Central Executive members, you ain't qualified to talk. Because it's not 1, 2, 3, or 4 individuals who have complaints against your people. And you all can talk. No, I don't support PNC. I support his right. Nobody from PNC ever stood in Parliament and said to a woman, you need a dildo. So listen, you better don't try it. You had better not come. I don't support PNC, I support his right. And you would be the world's greatest mangy dogs of hypocrites. To come to PNC to say, I support Vanessa, I'm with Vanessa, or we should go. You had better not try it. Because at the end of the day, the accusation was never that she was raped. It was she was asked a question, if, according to what she said, what if I do this? And she said, you got to kill me. That's where it ended. Y'all got a whole new, you have an upgrade. Y'all got buggery till somebody bleed. You got the person saying, shut the F up, so y'all don't, and you can talk. So don't even cross the train line. Barrett, you better not even open your mouth. Although you can't help yourself. Irfan, you had better not. At the end of the day, let those who want to cannibalize and eat each other, eat them on the other side. You all chew up one another. And if you ask me, you have to deal with this in the most proper manner, which I would close by saying to you again. Norton, if you're innocent, you'd better sue Vanessa. Because Vanessa will have to be absolutely insane to come and put her face in a video to say that you did what you did. That right there, she must be emboldened beyond repair. So if Vanessa could be so crazy to join with Eglon to try to get you out, she has to be sued. And Vanessa is my friend. Vanessa and I are cool, and Vanessa knows that I when it comes to principle, I don't play. I ain't got friends. I don't have friends when it comes to this. But if you do not respond to Vanessa's accusation, you are in hot water. Even with me. Because we don't play that game. For you to sit and call her out to say that if she doesn't speak, then she's guilty. Robin Robbins is asking a question which I would, because of my temperament, I'll address. Robin Robbins has said, give me a break. Give me a freaking break. Was she raped? Someone on my page has commented, named Robin Robbins. Give me a freaking break. I quote. Was she raped? You don't want to go down the path with me. I don't know you, but I would advise you not to go here. Because if you're going to say to me that a man who has a weapon, according to the report, because it says, was she raped? So let me address that. A man who has a weapon, allegedly, and tells the woman or shows the weapon to the woman and says to her, what if I raped you, whatever it is? Even if he doesn't put a finger on that woman, that man should be in jail. Because that man has sought to use an instrument that can kill her to let her know that if you fight or you even seek to do anything, I will kill you. So I would advise you, I guess that's the context in which you're saying it. This has nothing to do with whether somebody was raped. I am not believing anybody's words, Robin. I just said to you that if Aubrey is innocent, Aubrey should sue Vanessa. Are you void of reasoning? I said that repeatedly for the likes of you. If Aubrey knows he didn't do something, he should sue her. Period. But I'm saying to you, now, that if as a man or whatever you are, you say to me that a man who shows a weapon to a female and say, what if I rape you? And he shows that weapon, he should be charged with rape. And he should go to jail because he's shown her that he's prepared to use that weapon to get what he wants. He should be in prison for the rest of his life. And since you took me here, my viewpoint is simple. If a man rapes a female, he should be killed. That's how I see it. I don't believe in feeding rapists. I don't believe in feeding rapists. I don't believe that a rapist should eat any food at my expense as taxpayer. I believe rapists should be killed. They should be executed publicly. That's how I feel. Especially if you want to take a gun and tell a woman that you, like Darla was accused of doing as well, you showing weapons. So this seems to be a political thing where people show weapons to hurt people. No. So I'm going to please reiterate and I'll close. If Norton, you know you're innocent, sue Vanessa. Let the court deal with her. But if you know that accusation holds true, you need to be gone. Because for one, you sought to deceive. And not just deceive, but you did a video calling Vanessa out to say, come and say something. No. The minute you call the girl out and say, come and talk, you have taken it to another level. You challenge her to come out and talk. We're not doing that. You issued a public challenge to Vanessa. You are the highest ranking official in terms of the opposition. You are the official leader. The Constitution gives you power to be the official leader of the opposition. You have got that degree of power, and you would publicly call somebody and say, well, if you don't say anything, then you're in cahoots with Eglon Gomes or whatever it is. No, you asked for her response. And if you asked for her response, she responded, and the response has taken that nature that it has, you had better sue Vanessa. Because you called her out to talk. I close by saying to you all that I believe in good governance. And I am aware of the extremely destructive nature of the politics in this country just so that people can have power. Aubrey called Sharma to talk. The mayor of Linden hasn't spoken. Vanessa spoke, but Aubrey called two people. He called Sharma and he called Vanessa. I find it very concerning that Vanessa will talk and the man hasn't spoken. Men lead. When it comes to women, men protect. If Aubrey called Sharma out and he called Vanessa out, then Sharma should be the first to talk. You're the man. Good night. Do well.